Hi, beautiful people. So, I made a video about how or why I started this page. It was actually through a very dark time. And I'm going to post the link in the comments in case somebody finds that video helpful and hopeful, in case you're also going through a dark time. This is another video that's a follow-up to that, and I'm going to answer some questions that I get a lot about my spiritual beliefs. And this is going to be helpful for anybody who has experienced any type of religious cruelty or discrimination, or you didn't feel like you fit into the spiritual places that you were born into. So, a little bit of background: I was born and raised into a very dogmatic, restrictive family dynamics when it came to religion. And my intuition and my way of seeing the world, I was very inquisitive, very curious child, were seen as and labeled as bad and demonic. So I had to hide and suppress a lot of that through my lifetime, with the exception of my father, who was a safe space for me when he was alive and I was young. And I'm eternally grateful that in secrecy he was able to guide me, because he was very spiritually wise. And a lot of what I know today, I learned from his guidance. So I want to pause and let you know that I am also eternally grateful for all my experiences in life, the dark, the shadow, and the light, because they have both brought me to the space that I am today, and the woman who I am today. I got a lot of beauty from coming from this environment as well. I was able to attend great schools. I was able to be a missionary and experience a South American indigenous village, and to see how they handled shamanism and healing and what their core beliefs were about. So I was exposed to a lot of beautiful things thanks to this background, okay? So, two of my biggest concerns as a child was, one of them was, if God, in the biblical sense, is the Alpha, the Omega, there's no beginning, there's no end, it is an energy of infinite. How do we label it? How do we label it and personify it? And I was struggling with that. Another of my questions as a child was, if the Bible talked about men who were the only ones allowed to fast, go into the mountain, and receive messages without seeing them, they were not always there. They were channeling, they were, in my opinion, psychic, right? Why were they good, but anyone else that channeled or sensed information was bad? So I struggled with that as a child to comprehend, because I was exposed to other ways of doing information. My dad's side of the family was not of this type of religion, so they did the tarot, and I saw people work in different ways than my family. So that's what sparked this curiosity. I at about 18 years of old, one of my first courses in college, I decided was going to be religious studies, because I had this desire. Pay attention to your desires, because they lead you places. I had this desire to study religion beyond my own. And I still save the notebook, guys. I'm a little bit on the older side, but this is the notebook. And I dove into the various religions of the world. I was very blessed to have a Buddhist teacher. I studied Taoism, and I still refer to it, and in Indian religions, Asian religions, Jude Abrahamic religions, and that just made me think, wow, we're speaking the same language. All of us are speaking the same language. From there, if you follow this page, to make a long story short, I studied psychology and I realized that some of the founders of psychology analyzing human behavior dove into mysticism, and a lot of their work was too advanced to be published at the time. So one of them being Carl Jung, who dove into the subconscious, the archetypes, and some Jungian therapists, they do read the tarot in a Jungian style. Fascinating how spirituality and 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 science began to meet and kiss for me. I dove into shamanism and studying energy work, and it just kept sparking my curiosity and Kundalini and how did our ancestors heal and how did they do things. I'm currently reading The Quantum Being, which is a fascinating book about science and spirituality. She's a NASA um, a scientist. This is one if you're interested in that field. So I came to the conclusion that I personally cannot define that which is infinite, but I cannot define how you define it either. Because if something is infinite, then it has infinite possibilities of being described, and you are the author of how you describe God, energy, light for yourself and for your path. I discovered that many religions and spiritual paths have two sides to them. One of them can be used for manipulation, fear, and control, division. The light can be useful for oneness, kindness, healing, and hope. You get to decide. You are your guru. You are the light. So everyone is welcomed here. Please remember that. Please pause the video and read your message. Aho, Ashe, Amen, Namaste, Om. Thank you for being here. Bye, guys.